really needed to have. But it's been kind of crazy. This team's almost played better away from home. We win at Nova, we win at UConn, win at Xavier, and win here. So really proud of our guys. Obviously, when you've had a season like we've had and Butler's had, it's hard to get ready every single night, and our guys keep showing up, and really proud of them. I've got tremendous respect for Coach Mata and what he's done in his career. Just really proud of our guys, happy for our guys. Good to get a little momentum going to New York.
Good questions. Coach, obviously it seemed to be a tale of two halves. What allowed you guys to start so strong in the second?
Well, we ran some stops together, and they had a couple turnovers in there, but we got an offensive rebound the first possession, ended up in a three-point shot, and we made some shots that first 15 possessions of the second half. I think we scored 32. We scored 26 points in 15 possessions to start the half, and then defensively, I think they only scored 6. So we're able to create some separation. We haven't had a lot of runs like that this year, unfortunately. But defensively, we were active with our ball screen coverage and some of the traps in the post, and then Butler, they missed some shots they normally make as well.
It just seemed like the threes, especially during the road, were just kind of coming in bunches. Was it just kind of staying with it and continue to shoot? Because in the first half, those weren't shots that you guys were making.
Yeah, we've got a lot of guys that can shoot it. Obviously we have confidence. Josh Dix has been good his entire career. Isaac Trout's been a great shooter. Jason's very capable. Austin Swartz has shot it well. And, Nick Graves and Fedor had some good looks that they didn't knock down. But we're never going to take the confidence away from our guys. We want them to continue to shoot the basketball. That's kind of how we've built this roster, on our ability to make threes. But a lot of them came from touching the paint first and then spraying it for an easier shot. So, Nick Graves, 14 points and 13 assists. I thought he really dictated the tempo of the game.
Coach, really all season, Butler, whether they're winning or losing, they've always been able to get to the free throw line and get points that way. But today, only 8 free throws for them and only 2 in the second half. Was that an intentional point of emphasis for you guys to be physical without fouling?
We've been one of the best in the country the last 5 or 6 years of not putting people to the free throw line. Not quite as good this year, obviously, without rim protection that we've had in the past. But we emphasize, keeping our hands back to show them to the officials. And there weren't a lot of fouls called on either end. We didn't get to the line much either. But our goal coming in was to control the offense, keep them off the offensive glass, especially Michael. He had 8 of them at our place in that game, and we were able to limit him to 0 offensive rebounds and then neutralize their free throws, and we were able to do that as well. So the 2 things we set out to do, we did a pretty good job of.
Coach, talk about building momentum before next week. As a quick reflection on this game, if you could pinpoint an area that you felt most encouraged by that you hadn't seen last week.
I think probably defensively, our activity. We jumped some ball screens, and our rotations were good. We got some deflections, and that led to some steals and some easy baskets. So I think that's part of it, and I just think having an offensive half like we did the second half, the confidence that gives our guys going in. We have an off week, Saturday, so we don't play. So it's the first time I've ever had this off week in the last game of the season. So we need to get healthy. We give them a little bit of time off, and then we get back to practice. But certainly, what we're able to do defensively is something that we're gonna take with us as we move to New York.
You mentioned your team kind of playing better on the road this season than at home. What do you kind of attribute that to, and what does that say about going neutral site next week?
Yeah, St. John's pretty good in that building. I don't know. It's strange. We went what we end up 5-4 at home, 4-5 on the road. No, we play 10 now. We play 20 now, don't we? Yeah. So 5-5 at home and 4-6 on the road. Like, that's not typical because our building has been so good to us. Our fans are great. We had 17,000 plus there the other night when we're having a down year. So it's disappointing that we haven't played quite as well at home. But for whatever reason, we've had some of our best games away from home, and hopefully we can carry that over into the Garden.
And Coach, you mentioned that it can be hard for a team to get up for a game when you're having not quite the success you like. What is it as a coach for your job to get them up and get them prepared to play? And just how difficult can that be?
Yeah, it's challenging, but you try not to change your routine. you know, I've always been someone that I would hope that if you're in our film session the day after the game, you can't tell whether we won or lost based on what we're pulling and teaching and talking about. I've tried to stay as true to that this year as I can. It's a little more difficult when you've lost some of the games in the fashion that we've lost them this year, where we've kind of beat ourselves and stubbed our own toe. So, but these guys have stayed with it. We shortened the bench a little bit tonight just because I thought that group had a rhythm. Normally we were playing 10 guys, more minutes than we did tonight, but I thought that group had a really good rhythm, so we kind of rolled with it.
Anything else?
Thank you.
You guys get set up here and then go straight to questions for Thad.
Coach, this is kind of the second game in a row where there's a shift in the first half and kind of a collapse in the second half. Just what do you think contributed to the poor play in the second half?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, I thought we were sloppy as could be to start the game, and I'm like, okay. I told you guys at halftime, like, we got the cobwebs out. We got them out, and you know, we come out and just it's one of those games where we didn't have it, you know, and you know, the thing that bothers me most is, you know, you sit at home, you watch games at night, and like, whew, that team, there's one. There, you know, this happened. They got drilled. They got drilled. And I told my wife, I'm like, we haven't done that yet. We've continued to fight. We've continued to scrape. We've continued to claw. You know, I don't know. With the week off, you know, we took a couple of days off, but you know, did we go as hard as we could? I mean, Monday we were so sick with the scout, we couldn't have a scout team, and so did we do enough in between there to shake out the cobwebs? I don't know, but our minds weren't where they needed to be tonight in order to play as effective as we needed to play against them. And you know, I thought at the end of the first half, you know, Drayton had a heck of a steal. Michael had a block. You know, I thought we'd gotten ourselves out. I was excited to see the second half, and we come out and we just got blitzed, and you know, that I don't know, it can't happen. And you know, we can't go. I know we were 2 for 21 at one point from 3, and Evan hit a couple there, and then hoisted the one from half court. But I mean, 4 for 24 is you're not going to win basketball games at home with the way they defend.
As a coach, what can you do to get that message across again? Because it's like there just seemed to be such a kind of a just poor play in the second half. What can you do to make sure that doesn't happen?
Well, I mean, I think that's. I think I tried everything I could in the timeouts that we had, and from lose my mind to not lose my mind to whatever it was. But you know, it's. I'll take the total blame for the game, but damn it, these guys got to play. They got to, you know, got to have the the wherewithal to fight and defend and do those things. And I mean, we were from day one. Basics we weren't getting done. We were trying to change defenses, just the ones that could get us to play the hardest, just to turn up the pressure, to do whatever, and we didn't have that tonight.
And is it disappointing as a coach again? Because you said the effort has always been there, but to see maybe the effort waning a little bit as the season kind of comes to conclusion, is that disappointing as a coach?
Well, it is, but I'll say, like, we get calls every day, our guys being shopped around and that sort of, so, is everybody's minds where they're supposed to be right now? I mean, that's kind of where college basketball is now. And you're getting calls from agents and stuff, and they're saying, hey, we hear this, all, it's just like, what are we doing? But that's college basketball where it is right now. There's no doubt about it. And that's one of the challenges that I probably don't know how to navigate, and I don't know if there is a coach who knows how to navigate it right now.
Coach, obviously not a perfect season, not an ideal season, but where you are right now, do you think everyone on the roster has their mind in the right spot?
I think so. We got a great group of guys. We really do. It's the hard part. It's not the guys. That's the hardest part of college basketball now. It's like when I told them this story. I remember one time at Illinois, we got beat, and I said, fellas, right now you got 7 people talking to you, and I'm 7th. I said, I don't want to be number 1, but if you move me to 2nd, I think good things can happen. And we went to the Final Four. And that's still got to be the engagement of locked in. And in terms of the season, we've this is the first game where I've been like disappointed in our performance. The other ones I've been good. 5 for 33 or whatever against Georgetown in the second half. Providence game, we had that thing. But I thought we had that edge. But my biggest thing right now is we just got to get it turned around and get ready to go Saturday at 11 o'clock.
Coach, you obviously can't change the results of the shots, but as you prepare for this weekend and next week, what have you thought about your execution in getting the 3-point looks tonight and the last game?
I don't know if we can get much more open. I really don't. And I mean they made 10, I think it was, and theirs were as open as ours were and as challenged as ours were. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the ball has just got to. Finn had that one that rolled around and around and set up there, and it was just like, oh my gosh, here we go. But I was just hoping we could get. I thought Jamie had some good looks that didn't go down, and we've never seen a team that shoots basketball more than these guys, and we've got to be able to make shots. That's probably the most important thing you do in the game of basketball.
Last home game for you guys and last home game for Michael Ajayi and Butler. You talked about the guys on your team, the fight that had 38, 39 minutes tonight for him. How much has he meant to you as a coach this season, as a player and as a guy in your locker room?
No, Michael's been tremendous. I mean, what he's brought from the day he arrived here, just his work ethic and it hasn't gone the way we thought it was going to go. There's been a lot of drastic changes, and Michael's been asked to do a lot of different. I think it's made him a better player, but there's been so many things that he's had to do, and he just does them. He just keeps playing. He just keeps going, and he had a couple plays there at the end of the first half that were incredible.
Coach McDermott said it can be hard to get up for games when you're having not quite the season that you want. Do you find it harder to reach your players nowadays? Like, again, you mentioned they have all these different voices in their ears. Do you find that it's just harder to reach your players and kind of get your message across nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine the other night. He says, coaching the SEC, he says, you imagine the way you and I played if they were paying us, how hard we would play. And that was times have changed a little bit in that regard, and this is now is when you got to have it, and that's why for whatever reason tonight, even the last home game and all that stuff, how we came out that second half and just didn't have it. I don't know.
As you move forward from this game, how do you address kind of juggling the difference between the results and improving on that and the effort of improving on that?
Well, you know, I think this it's hard to explain, and I'm not making excuses, but we got Evan back Monday, I think it was, and so we've been down on numbers, so it's been hard to go, and God forbid if we get anybody else injured in something like that, and you know, that's where in March you assume you've got the things in order. I mean, I thought our transition defense was really good in the first half, and then we come out second, and we didn't have our transition defense. That's all we talked about going into this game, and we let up on the transition defense and got them on a run, and then it was over.
You mentioned the injuries. Evan's back tonight after missing the last 3. How do you feel about how close he's been to where he was when he was healthy? In terms of just his
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Evan is a tough kid. I mean, you think about this. He said to me in the games that he was injured, he says, "I'll dress, and if you need me for a 3 for one play or whatever," and I mean, think about that now, because most guys be like, no, I don't want my stats to go down. And Evan was saying, no, if that happens, I'll do it, and I mean, that tells me he's a tough kid, and he wants to win. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
See you guys.
So you guys-
See you sometime in the afternoon. I'm done for home games.